Today I'm going to show you one of the strongest loadouts in the Frozen Fjords Ventures season. This is Raven. He buffs your lefty and righty damage by 25%, and they explode when he shoots. As you can see from some of this upcoming gameplay later in the video, that is an extremely strong combination, and I have built an entire loadout around him to make him even stronger, but I want to talk about exactly what's going on and why we don't use this loadout all the time. Lefty and righty's got about a 1-minute cooldown. It's a long time to be waiting. However, in this current season, we have the Super Soldier modifier. That means that your headshot damage is doubled, which is great, but also every ranged weapon elimination. This includes rocket launchers. This includes the Xenon bow, shotguns, pistols, SMGs, the works. Every single one of those eliminations decreases it by 4 seconds. If you have a rocket launcher or a Xenon bow and you shoot into a crowd of enemies, if you kill 10 of them, you basically get 40-second cooldown removed and your abilities straight back. I know I said 1 minute, but I'll explain actually right now that the cooldown's a little closer to like 40 to 50 seconds on average. Happy Holidays brings it down by 40%. You can see if I hover over Raven, our lefty and righty cooldown is 60 seconds. But there's more. We also have Pump Metal right here. So this is Noir. He's from the Art Deco section. You can pretty much only get him by fluxing him or getting him from Art Deco llamas, but in the support, he can extend your lefty and righty duration by 10 seconds, which is nice. So now we're down to like a 50-second cooldown. And realistically, when you use an entire lefty and righty, there's not much left to shoot out anyway. So about 40 to 45 seconds is the only amount of cooldown you're gonna have to remove. Shell Shock we'll talk about last. Battle Beat just ups the damage. You activate Rock and Rift pretty easily, and getting some bonus damage out of that is super nice. Helps you do a little bit better. And for the rest of this build, I actually went for Warcry bonuses. Yeah, an extra 3 seconds of Warcry and an extra functionally 6 seconds of Warcry just means that you're doing tons of damage. You're buffing your teammates at the same time. When you pop that Warcry, everybody shoots faster, swings and melees faster, does more damage. It's a really great bonus. Warcry, as you can see, super nice thing to have. Look at that, 45% weapon damage, fire rate, melee attack speed, really good stuff, and extending that I think is a good deal. The only reason I am personally using shotgun damage is because the best weapon I have in my game right now is shotgun, I think. But you can just switch this for anything. You can switch this to any of your current best weapons. If it's a bow, like the Xenon bow, you can use Rabbit Raider or whatever. I actually just picked up some decent weapons, so there's a bit more variety. What I'm going to do is put in Colonel Wildcat. She's actually one of the base game heroes in this loadout, where she reduces Warcry cooldown by 17%. It's kind of nice to help sync that up with your lefty and righty a little bit easier. It's not really essential. I think your Warcry is typically on par with it, but there aren't too many options that make a big difference here. Maybe I'll just throw in Survivalist and see how it works. But either way, this is a build that is really strong. In fact, it's so strong that we only have one high-level player in here. Archer's just being our carry. He's our big carry of the party. Storm God's an 82, Ty's a 45. I'm only a power level 28. I don't typically like the Ventures grind. I've barely played any missions this season, and at my boosted power level, I am 76. My point in all of this is to say that in a 140 zone, I am 64 levels underneath the recommended power level, and it's not going to matter. Let's hop in game and show you just how strong this build can be. So I'm trying to get a good starting clip to this video, and the encampment I picked, I did not play it very well, and I died when I probably shouldn't have, but I've respawned twice now outside of the map. What is going on? All right, made it back to that encampment I was talking about. Let's show you guys how strong this build can be. Again, 64 levels underneath the recommended power level, absolutely shredding everything. The mistake I made last time was standing in beehives while the nurse was healing off everything I was trying to kill. If you just play things a little smarter, pick them off a little more carefully, you can see this build is insanely strong. Tons and tons of damage. In fact, while I was looting around, it reminded me, you see that 40-second cooldown, by the way? It reminded me that Coconuts is actually a really good addition to this build. It buffs your damage, it's nice to have, but it's also a little annoying to search stuff in this season. And you can see that I cannot kill anything here. So lefty and righty is doing so much more damage than my power level that I can't even get the cooldown reduced because I'm too weak. This won't apply to most of you guys. If you're playing in the appropriate power level zone, you're going to be shredding anything without any trouble at all. All right, I waited a few seconds here. Let's get the Warcry boosted and the lefty and righty active, and you can see just shredding everything. That was inside of a nurse's range, by the way. An entire taker just gone. Zapper is killed before he can hit me a second time. Again, I'm a glass cannon, but you get the point. This build is crazy good. All right, little 2-for-1 action. We have a storm chest that will help me get some better weapons that can actually kill these enemies, and it's a great showcase of the lefty and righty being crazy strong. This is honestly my favorite build. Like, when I'm I'm running Ventures off camera or on stream just chilling, meaning like I'm not making a YouTube video, but I'm just hanging out with chat. This is a loadout I use all the time. And I brought this to the higher level zones just to demonstrate the upper limit of how strong this build can be. Because, yeah, it's very, very, very overpowered for when it comes to the lower power level missions. I could run this in a 32 zone and obliterate everything, but then we wouldn't be able to know. Is that just Lefty and Righty being good, or is Beast just over leveled for the zone that he's in? No. I'm under leveled here and shredding everything. So I'm gonna hopefully get some decent weapons and tune back in. What? What is this weapon? Crit rating, double crit damage, stacking crit rating, and physical? I guess that'll do. Oh my god. That's basically, for any of my newer viewers, that is basically a perfect pain train. Like, in normal, regular missions, if I was running the pain train, this is actually the perks you would probably want. Maybe not physical, that's definitely the one thing, but stacking crit rating, stacking damage, you can go back and forth. Affliction, I tend to prefer, but honestly, that's about as good as you can ask for in Ventures when you can't pick or change your perks. Also, I know it's less sexy than big damage numbers, but Lefty and Righty, pretty good at destroying stuff if that's something your quest demands of you. All right, taking on one big encampment before the defense. Let me do a little bit of building. Cherry pick the nurses to get them out of the way. I don't want them healing off the targets. The babies are jumping on me. This is partially why I said coconuts earlier and I picked survivalist. There are not that many things to search in this map, as I believe I mentioned, but coconuts would be healing me so well right now and boosting my damage. I just don't think I would have any. Survivalist is at least good enough, gets me some residual health, and well, the encampment's dead, so there you go. All right, the defense begins. So, Archer's doing a lot of the trapping because he's obviously the higher level player. He's our dad in this lobby, but always love popping this war cry because it's just, you might as well. You have the energy, it boosts your fire rate, it does not increase the damage of your abilities. That's something very clear. I've made this mistake in previous videos, forgetting that war cry does not increase ability damage. It does not make your Lefty and Righty hit any harder. However, you do output more damage because you're shooting faster. So that's basically it. You're shooting faster and you have infinite ammo as Lefty and Righty, so you are technically doing more damage in the time that your Lefty and Righty is active. But, you know, like I said, it's just less damage. It's the same amount of damage per bullet. But look at that. Look at that cooldown. Just a few kills with my AR. And there we go. My ability is completely back. So I can just pop a war cry. You can see it's buffing Storm God there. That might have been totally rocking out, or Rock and Riff rather. But look at that damage. Just focus on those big targets. The explosion hits everything around him. Beautiful. That's a smasher. I'm helping on a power level 140 smasher. Beautiful. This isn't a 4-player mission. Obviously, I'm very underleveled, as mentioned several times, and I'm not trying to hit too far above my belt here. So we're not in an actual 4-player mission, but you can see that even helping on a smasher of that power level, at my power level, at my Ventures level, is inappropriate. I should be useless in this game, but I'm not. So I will say, if anybody is getting carried by anyone or anything, if you know, you know, running a base is the appropriate thing to do. Run a base, stick it to... Oh, all the spawns shifted right as I pulled it out. Well, all right. Put down a base, put down recycling, let your teammates get the free materials. That is the appropriate way to get carried, in my opinion. I'm obviously playing with stream viewers and friends of mine who know the drill. Archer's totally cool with me making my videos, and he gets high level. I think so you could just join and flex. I think he's just having fun that way, and I don't blame him. Why wouldn't you? Archer was so proud of hitting power level 145, but honestly, big props to him. I'm not technically 145 yet myself, but that is a big accomplishment. That's not Ventures level, that's normal power level. 145 is also a max, so it's kind of a big deal. And as big of a deal as that is, Archer's gone to clarify in my chat here today that he is bored. I think he's just standing up here, put down a couple of traps, and he's just like waiting. He's running a bow loadout, like, all right, well, if shit hits the fan and the defense starts to crumble, I'll just step in and make it not do that. This is kind of an abusive mission, honestly. Is this acid pools? I believe it is. So standing in that would make me take significantly more damage and reduce my ability to be less dead. So I should maybe not stand in them. And yeah, these headshots. So you guys can actually see in the bottom right, the war cry is already back. That is why I didn't want Wildcat. I did choose not to run her because I remembered in my testing with this loadout that war cry is back before Lefty and Righty. So there's really no point in running a Warcry cooldown. It'd actually be completely redundant, and I'm glad that I opted for different perk options because I'm getting a more useful build. Survivalist is never my favorite pick. I picked him pretty loosely earlier, and I've clarified Coconuts twice now, but I will say a third time at least that Survivalist is not the best healing hero in the game. In fact, before we recorded here, I prepped 3 healing pads because figured I might need them. It seems earlier I'll just die. That's my way of taking care of it. By the way, the accuracy on this weapon, not really good enough to take advantage of that headshot bonus, but it doesn't seem to matter. We're taking care of business anyway. Yeah, it seems like I'll just rather die than actually heal. But as I was saying, Survivalist is not usually the best pick for healing. You know, Coconuts, healing pads, campfires, all of these things will absolutely work in keeping you alive. Standing in beehives will not. In fact, the more you stand in beehives, the less alive you'll be. Why? Every time I come over here, the enemies stop spawning. So I just want you guys to be careful. Survivalist is a great early game hero that works, but he's actually really weak in the end game, and he won't work forever. So I always do this where I recommend people certain heroes and weapons based on end game performance. And it's true that in the early game, it doesn't really matter what you're using. Almost anything is going to work pretty well in the early game. That's why so many people find out through my videos that certain weapons are bad because, you know, I've been using the nailer for however long and everything's been just fine, Beast. It's not a bad weapon. And then they hit power level, I don't know, 100, 120, and they're like, oh yeah, this stopped working. In fact, my favorite example in the entire game of this is the old Betsy, the old spyglass Lefty. No, ooh, yeah, we're switching off. Look at that Lefty and Righty going crazy when I'm on cooldown. Also, yeah, the little cannonballs from the chick I can't think of. She's on screen right now, Buccaneer Ramirez. She also improves your Lefty and Righty. I'm not gonna lie, I completely forgot she existed. She's also good in this build if you wanted to use her. But I was gonna say that a lot of stuff falls off where the old Betsy Spyglass used to be my mist monster killer because in the lower level zones it can consistently, satisfyingly one-shot mist monsters. One shot to the head, double headshot damage bonuses, and it shreds them. But that stops working in the endgame. And a lot of weapons are like that. So it's really good to just start getting into the habits of using heroes and weapons that are going to be working forever. Whoever edits this, by the way, should probably put like an epilepsy warning on this scene. This is crazy. This is crazy. So anyway, it's just good to get into the habit of using stuff that's going to aid you for a long time. You know, if you're choosing between 2 weapons right now and one will be good in the end game and the other won't, it figures that you would want to, you know, pick the one that'll work for a long time. Seeing as I'm dying constantly, though, and I think my point has been made, I'm probably going to call this video literally... Also, why is everything so bright right now? Is this just the map or something? Maybe you guys can explain in the comments down below. This build's awesome. You should try it out. If anything looked really bad in this video, it's because I'm underleveled. So if you use this loadout in the appropriate leveled missions, you are going to shred everything. It's super satisfying. It's great against crowds. It's great against mini bosses. It's fun because it still encourages you to use your regular weapons. So you're actually using your regular weapons outside of your ability just to get your cooldown back. It's a nice hybrid build that I always really enjoy. And as much as I don't really enjoy ventures, this build makes it super fun. So epilepsy viewers, you can actually watch the stream now. Thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe if you're new. Check out this video on the end screen for the ventures rewards this season. And I'll link another video down below on how to get ventures XP if you guys want to get through these missions faster. I'll see you guys in the next one, and yeah, thanks for watching. And then